So last night I filmed this with a regular old picture that's designed to take single pictures, but it also has a video mode, which isn't very good. The sound is really terrible. Today I went out and bought a new video camera so I could do better video because Sepp's going to be around for a while. I wanted to make sure to capture as much as I could. But of course, Sepp doesn't speak any English, so this has the interpreter here. Before we get to this point, Sepp was talking about how he was planting seeds in pots in the house, and his mom told him to take that outside, but not into her garden, and his dad wouldn't let him plant anywhere either, so only on the steep slopes that nobody was using.
With a scythe, and so everything is clear for that.
Jetzt habe ich da draußen weit vom Haus im Steilhang
So the only possibility Sepp had was to plant things on a steep, very steep slope, far away from the
so kleine Fleckerl, so kleine Ding anzulegen, so mit ein paar Quadratmeter.
So he built up a few gardens, small patches with only 1 or 2 square meters.
Und da habe ich alles, was ich bekommen habe, an Samen, an Kerneln, was ich gefunden habe und bekommen habe,
And
eingepflanzt.
all the seeds and kernels that he collected, he just planted them there. And
Oh, da habe ich gesehen, wo es so steil ist, kommt der Regen.
so all the seeds were just washed away by the rainfall and on all the really steep pastures.
Was kann ich da machen?
How could he solve that problem?
Jetzt habe ich Steine hingezogen
So he took stones and put them there.
und habe dann hinter den Steinen die Samenkernel eingesteckt.
That's smart. And he planted the things behind the stones so that the rain could not wash them away.
Oh, das hätte dann wunderschön gewachsen.
So those things really grew very well.
Und dann kam ich wieder mal hin, waren die schon so schön gewachsen, so hoch.
So he went back and forth and observed how they were growing.
Das nächste Mal, wie ich hinkam, ist alles fort.
And one time when he got there, everything was gone.
Sind bei der Nacht das Rotwild, die Hirsche und die Rehe gekommen und hat alles abgeschlagen.
During the night, Red Wild was just poaching everything, eating up all the plants. So that again was another problem he had to solve.
Jetzt habe ich so Sträucher, was dornig sind, Berberitzen und Hagebutten.
So he planted shrubs with thorns. Shrubs with thorns. Oh, yeah.
So hat überall drauf drüber gelegt
So from various places to make it difficult for the deer to get there.
und dazwischen sind die Pflänzchen.
And in between the shrubs, little plants,
Das war sehr gut,
which was very good.
weil die haben sich richtig erholen können und sie waren geschützt.
Because the little plants were protected there.
So hat sich das schön langsam entwickelt. Da kommt noch so vieles, was man da alles gesehen und gelernt hat im
So
Laufe der
I
Jahre.
think from the age of 5 onwards, he was able to observe and to learn from nature, and that's actually how he developed his method.
So habe ich immer auf diesem Steilhang immer mehr und immer mehr gemacht.
So he gradually was more and more successful with planting more and more exotic, all kinds of plants actually.
Ich habe das dann in der Schule auch erzählt, den Schulkollegen. Das war 1951, 50.
In 1950, 51, he told his schoolmates about the success he had as a gardener.
Hat das der Lehrerin erzählt.
He told his teacher.
Oh, die waren neugierig.
They
Was
were
ist das?
curious what is going on there,
Darf man das mal ansehen?
and they wanted to come and see the thing.
Ja, ja.
So they visited him at the farm.
Dann sind immer mehr mitgegangen, immer mehr.
And more people came.
Oh, habe ich mir gedacht, da muss man aber was verlangen dafür. Nicht?
So he thought he should charge them something.
Dann habe ich 50 Groschen verlangt.
So 50 groschen, which is really a small unit.
Zuerst habe ich nur für ein Eis, ich habe so Eistüten gegeben, dass sie ganz neu aufgekommen sind.
You could, at those days, you could buy, and this was the newest thing, small ice cones.
Für einmal mitgehen, schauen dürfen,
For,
noch nicht
if,
zweimal.
for showing his garden, they would let him lick.
Und dann habe ich, so viel Eis mochte ich gar nicht mehr, weil da so viele Kinder waren.
So all the children would offer him ice cream, so he decided to do something else because he couldn't eat it all.
Und dann habe ich 50 Groschen verlangt.
And that's the time when he charged them 50 groschen, which is really not much.
So, so habe ich immer Geld gehabt.
That's how he always had money.
Das war dann immer mehr,
And it got more and more and more.
aber dann sind auch andere Leute gekommen, weil meine Gärten sind gewachsen, sind immer größer geworden.
But as time went by and the gardens grew bigger and bigger, more people came.
Und dann haben sie gesehen, was der Bur war, also ein Stupsel,
And he was still a boy then, and
was der alles macht und wo das wächst, warum.
they were really curious how he could manage to grow so many different plants at such an altitude.
Und dass das die Hirsche nicht abfressen, das Rotwild.
And they were wondering why the red wild would not be able to eat all the plants, why they didn't eat the plants.
Und dann habe ich schon Insekten eingesetzt, Ameisen eingesetzt, gezüchtet, die was die Kohlweislingraupen, also von Kohlweislingraupen fressen, also Schädlingsregulierung.
Okay, so even back then, as a boy, he knew he would have to breed insects to help him. Wie heißt es?
Wo die Ameisen, die
Kohlweis.
The
Kohlweis,
caterpillar,
Schmetterling, Butterfly.
caterpillars that eat the cabbage in order because the red butterfly.
Yeah, I don't know that word.
Und das gelernt. Und so habe ich gesehen, was von was lebt, wie dieser Kreislauf ist.
So he became aware of the cycles, of the various cycles in nature.
Auch habe ich gesehen, welche Pflanzen mit welchen gut wachsen und welche gar nicht.
He also saw which plants would grow well together and which couldn't.
Und das habe ich den Leuten, was das angeschaut haben, erzählt. So
And he
und
explained
so.
that to the people who came to see his plants.
Und dann sind die Erwachsenen, die großen Leute, die haben so geschaut.
And the grown-ups were even more unwilling to believe.
Und dann haben sie zu der Mutter und zum Vater gesagt, oh, der Bur, das wird einmal ein Gärtner oder ein Förster.
So these grown-ups told his parents that he's going to become a gardener or forester. Thank you.
Das ist ein ganz schlauer.
He's really
Und ich habe geschaut, gut finden. Oh,
so he gathered himself confidence, I think.
aber jetzt hat der Mama gesagt, hast du das wohl gehört, hast du gehört,
So
was
he
der sagt?
asked, reinforced this by asking his mother, "Did you hear that?"
Aber bei mir hat es, ich wollte dann immer mehr, damit ich noch mehr zeigen kann.
But this triggered something off inside of Sepp, so he wanted to become even more successful.
Das hat mich so angespornt, weil die Leute so begeistert waren und die Mama und der Papa eigentlich nicht so.
So everybody else, apart from his parents, were really excited about it.
Und dann
Stay tuned as Sepp describes how his property was invaded by crocodiles. It's actually a pretty great story. I'm going to try and get that up next. In the meantime, anytime you want to talk about permaculture or Sepp Holzer and how amazing Sepp Holzer is, you can always come out to Permies.com, where we're always talking about organic stuff and homesteading and everything tied to permaculture. Thanks.